Hey everyone. Spooky season is upon us. We've got the candy, the costumes, the horror movie marathons. But have you ever stopped and wondered, where did Halloween actually come from? Why do we dress up as ghosts and go door to door begging for candy? Well, the story is way older and honestly, way weirder than you might think. It's a tale that spans over 2,000 years, involves ancient priests, wandering souls, and even turnips? Yeah, you heard me. So grab your pumpkin spice latte, get comfy, and let's travel back in time. Our journey begins with the ancient Celts, who lived in the area that's now Ireland, the UK, and northern France. They celebrated a festival called Samhain, pronounced Samhain. This wasn't a party, it was a serious, deeply spiritual event that marked the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter, a time they associated with death. The Celts believed that on the night of October 31st, the boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead became blurred. Ghosts of the dead, both good and bad, could return to Earth. Now you might think that sounds terrifying, and it was. To ward off the evil spirits, people would light massive bonfires and wear costumes, often consisting of animal heads and skins to disguise themselves. The idea was, if you looked like a scary spirit yourself, the real ghouls would just leave you alone. They also left out food and drink to appease the friendly spirits of their ancestors who might be visiting. So the very first roots of dressing up and leaving out treats, it started right here with the Celts trying to survive a spooky night. Fast forward a few hundred years. The Roman Empire has conquered most of the Celtic territory, and they bring their own festivals. But the real game changer was the spread of Christianity. In the 8th century, in a clever move to absorb pagan traditions rather than just outlawing them, the Pope designated November 1st as All Saints' Day, a day to honor all the saints. The evening before it, October 31st, became known as All Hallows' Eve. Hallow is just an old word for saint or holy person, and over time, All Hallows' Eve got shortened and slurred together to become Halloween. The church couldn't stamp out the old traditions, so Samhain's bonfires, costumes, and focus on the supernatural simply blended with the new Christian holiday. Okay, so we've got costumes and a date, but what about the candy? Where does trick-or-treat come from? For that, we need to jump to the Middle Ages. A practice called souling became popular, especially in England and Ireland. On All Souls' Day, which is November 2nd, the poor would go door to door, offering to pray for the souls of a family's dead relatives. In exchange, they'd be given soul cakes, which were basically small round cakes. This is the earliest version of going door to door for treats. At the same time, another tradition called guising was popular in Scotland and Ireland, where young people would dress up in costumes and go door to door, performing a little song or a trick in exchange for food, wine, or money. Combine souling and guising, and you've basically got the blueprint for modern trick-or-treating. So how did this European mashup of traditions end up becoming this huge American holiday? You can thank the massive wave of Irish immigrants in the 19th century, especially during the Great Famine. They brought their rich Halloween traditions with them to America. At first, it was mostly celebrated within their own communities, but the stories and festivities were so captivating that they quickly spread and were adopted by the wider American culture. And this is also where the pumpkin comes in. Back in Ireland, people would carve spooky faces into turnips, potatoes, and beets to create little lanterns. These were called jack-o'-lanterns, based on an old Irish folktale about a man named Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil and was cursed to roam the earth forever with only a burning coal inside, a carved-out turnip to light his way. But when the immigrants arrived in America, they found something that was bigger, softer, and way easier to carve: the pumpkin. And thus, the iconic pumpkin jack-o'-lantern was born. Sorry, turnips. From there, it was a pretty quick journey to the Halloween we know today. By the early 20th century, communities started organizing more secular, kid-friendly Halloween parties to curb the pranks and vandalism that had become common. And by the mid-century, candy companies saw a golden opportunity. They began marketing their products heavily for trick-or-treating, and Halloween transformed into a massive commercial success. Today, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry celebrated all over the globe, from Japan to Mexico to Australia. So the next time you carve a pumpkin or put on a costume, remember its incredible history. You're taking part in a tradition that's evolved from an ancient Celtic festival, merged with Christian holidays, traveled across oceans, and swapped a turnip for a pumpkin. It's a little bit spooky, a little bit holy, and a whole lot of fun. Happy Halloween!